Good morning, everyone. It is March 29th, 2022. We'll call the Wright County Board of Commissioners meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Well, nice to see people still joining us in this facility for maybe a couple more weeks. So we'll see how we progress with the technology in the new boardroom. All right. The first order of business is the minutes from the last week, the 22nd. Does anyone have any?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from March 22nd.
All right. Motion made by Commissioner Delyden. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Ketchum. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, minutes are approved. Review and approval of agenda.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve today's agenda as presented.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Betts.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Delyden. Any corrections? I do have just a typo from the consent agenda. It's on page 15, the end of the first paragraph. And on page 18, the end of the first paragraph, it says FTO, and it should be PTO on both those places. I got
Other way around.
I got that confirmed yesterday.
Yeah, it's supposed to be FTO. There's one instance where it says PTO.
Yeah, actually, two and both contracts in one, so. Just a little typo, I just had to verify that it really was supposed to be FTO. All right.
We have a motion and a second for the agenda.
Yeah, thank you. And so if there's no other discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. The agenda is approved. Consent agenda. Would anyone like anything removed for further discussion?
Madam Chair,
Mr. Ketchmark?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
All right. Motion made by Commissioner Ketchmark.
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Delyden. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Consent agenda is approved. All right. Moving on to our timed items. Mr. Virgil Hawkins, Highway Engineer.
Morning, Madam Chair, Board of Commissioners. Today, there's one highway item for your consideration. It's a request to accept plant mix bituminous bids we received on March 17th, and we got prices from 4 different contractors. And these are, we recommend accepting all prices, and then our county maintenance staff can utilize as needed, depending where they're working at throughout the county.
Anyone have any questions of Virgil?
Yeah, Madam Chair. Just
Delyden.
out of curiosity, how much higher is it this year than over last?
You know, these bids actually aren't a lot higher than the plant mix bids we received last year. Last year, we just received bids from 2 bidders, and they were in the low 50s. So these are a little bit higher, but not as much as we were expecting.
That's good.
Yeah. Any other questions? If not, I'll look for a motion
Madam
to,
Chair, I'll make a motion to accept the bids for the bituminous mix for 2022.
I'll second.
motion made by Commissioner Vetch, seconded by Commissioner Delyden. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
Passes. Thanks, Virgil. All right, we're a little before 10. So we can move on to our items for consideration, and we have Administrator Kelly, the Wright County Economic Development Partnership Lease Agreement.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Brought forward this lease agreement with the Economic Development Partnership. This is to reflect the updated change in occupancy. Initially, we thought that we would be occupying sooner in the year, i.e. January, and now with the move to the new building had been delayed. We delayed this contract until this time. We did have discussion on this contract a couple different times last year, also at a committee of the whole around budget time, as well as in November, and so tried to reflect the discussions that took place at those meetings, and working with our legal team in developing the lease using our standard contract language. So with that, we present the lease today, which you will note has been already executed by the Economic Development Partnership Director. So stand for any questions related to this item.
Yeah, have any questions about that?
Madam Chair,
Mr. Vetch?
so I will say that administration, we've gone back and forth on a lot of just little items and cleaning things up for this. I think we've covered everything quite well. I think we're good to go on it. With that, I'm going to make a motion to accept the Wright County Economic Development Partnership Lease Agreement for space in the new government center.
Right, motion made by Commissioner Vetch.
I'll second it.
Commissioner Delyden, any discussion?
Yeah, where is this? Is this located on the main floor?
Yeah,
That is the first floor, yes.
kind of when you walk in to the right, to the left.
It's, you walk by it to go
Yeah.
towards the county boardroom.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, we're almost neighbors.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Ketchmark.
For discussion, so up on the consent agenda, we had someone else, the Americorps lease agreement, and they're looking for 48 gross square feet of space, which I looked at yesterday to see what are we giving them, renting for that. And Health and Human Services showed that to me. That's a cubicle, and by my math, they're paying $19.60 a square foot for a cubicle. Yeah, we got a floor plan for the Economic Development Partnership, and as was stated here, they have very prime real estate in the building. When you come in, it's right there. It consists of 2 offices, some open office space, storage, and a kitchenette. And this 951 square feet comes out to, by my math, $15 and some change a square foot. Besides us already giving them $130,000 a year to help them operate. So I see a discrepancy there. They have prime space. It's not just a cubicle. And I'm in favor of them paying the fair market value. And if that's a problem, they have to let the market and the need drive it. And if they got to raise dues or have fundraisers or whatever, but that's my thought on a comparison. On today, we got 2 spaces that are up for lease in brand new prime construction in Buffalo.
Madam Chair,
Yeah, Commissioner Vetch.
I'm just interesting that he's bringing this up now because we had 2 committees of the whole that he voted in favor on these lease agreements. And now you're bringing it forward at the last minute here. I want to know what all of a sudden changed, because doing this now would be very unprofessional to literally posture that you're okay with the lease agreement that you even yourself said that you're okay with, and now at the end of the day you're saying no, you're not okay with it when it comes down to the very end where they've done their due diligence on their side from a administrative and legal perspective. We've done the same on our side. It just gives me a really icky taste in my mouth to come back at this very last point where you're looking to sign the agreement. We'd be very unprofessional to do anything different than accepting this lease agreement.
Madam Chair, can I respond?
Commissioner Ketchmark.
And correction, Commissioner Vetch, I was against this. I said from the beginning that they should pay fair market value, and that was argued back and forth, and I made the same points then as now. And if anyone looks back at the record, I'm voting the same now as I have before, and for the same reasons. So that's not correct. I remember how I voted, and it's been consistent. And I don't have the support from the constituents to offer a deal on brand new taxpayer paid space, and nothing's changed.
So, Commissioner Ketchmark, if you're thinking that it would be more fair to Americorps to give them a different rate, I think we could bring that back.
No, it's been determined that they're paying fair market rate. There's been discussion on that already, so I'm looking more at Economic Development Partnership paying fair market rate. It's hard to even compare a cubicle for this prime space and the difference in the dollars per square foot, if you look at it.
Madam Chair?
Commissioner, yes, Leiden.
I'd asked Jill earlier what
Americorps?
Americorps is going to do for the county. And they're gonna work on recruiting volunteers. So it's gonna actually benefit the county along with, other organizations within the county, the County Community Action, I'm assuming some of the
They'll be supportive.
volunteers and stuff, so actually, I don't even think we should even be charging them, just because I think it's a benefit to the county instead of, I mean, they're gonna provide us with some great help.
Madam Chair, I mean, that's the big discussion on both of these. I mean, both of these entities, the lease part is such a trivial dollar amount to what their existence and what they actually do for the citizens, whether it's the Americorps group or the EDP. And to argue over, I think the $4 is, what, a couple $1,000 difference in the entire year for EDP. To me, it's just it's ridiculous to micromanage it to that level, especially on these entities. We want to be good partnerships for them. These nonprofits do so much to improve the quality of life, the economic vitality of our community, and to do things like this to get almost penny wise and dollar foolish over these relationships is just wrong.
Madam Chair?
Commissioner Ketchmark?
Well, the first arrangement with AmeriCorps went through on the implied consent advisory today without a blink of an eye. We're past that. That got approved. Now, are we gonna readdress it? What about the next group? I think we are, well, I know we already got other rental agreements out there. The dental clinic is not paying either one of these fees. I'm kinda wondering going forward, what, this sliding scale up, down for all these, how are we gonna adjust and figure out what's fair and consistent? But this is just an obvious one today that stands out to me. But the one that's doing all the good, according to Commissioner Delyden, what he learned today for seeking volunteers, went right through. Nobody questioned the 19 and some change. And so are we going to reopen and discuss that, or is that as a point of order that slid through on the consent agenda already?
Yeah, I mean, that would be, if that would be brought to, for a later, bigger discussion, if we have more groups and that kind of thing. But, yeah, when they've agreed to these terms, then I think we're good. So.
Madam Chair, if I could, I just want to reiterate, we do take a look every year as part of our indirect cost allocation plan, what lease space is, as we did back in August of last year when we were having the discussion both about the dental clinic. We actually had a committee of the whole where we talked about dental clinic, we talked about the economic development partnership and the lease rates with that, which incorporate depreciation, interest, operating costs, and all of that. So I just want to state that it's not an arbitrary number. We do calculate that out based on the cost to run things. And given that there was some appetite to assist the development partnership along with CDC, the Community Dental Project, we were limited in what we could charge for by the terms of that bonding agreement. So that's how we arrived at the 1510 number.
All right. Any more discussion on this?
Madam Chair. Greg, we can bring it back anytime for the Americorps one grant. I mean, even if we approve that consent agenda, we can still, on the next board meeting, change it or something.
Well, or let a little time pass.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Dolainen, if you're looking to change it, it's been approved right now, so the board chair is going to sign it after this meeting and then send it over. Once it's signed, then you're in a binding contract at that point in time. So if you're looking at changing that or reconsidering it, now would be the time to do that.
Thank you.
Yep.
I mean,
Madam Chair.
AmeriCorps agreed to that, so I think we're fine with that. I mean, you can
Yeah, for this year.
revisit these contracts.
One-year contract?
Terminated in 30 days.
I guess I'd like to see how much of a benefit they bring to the county, and then we can discuss it in
Yeah,
the future.
I
Charge them $0.
Or even you charge the same, if you want to go the 1510, I mean, just if you want to
Yeah.
keep things linear, I mean, whatever. Just because from a precedence, if you end up getting a large demand.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. And
That'd probably be fair.
I heard a presentation by Americorps, and I'm pretty excited about them being here. So they have kind of innovative ways to help people. Like one thing is, so they'll have, from food shelves, they'll have lists of, you know, what is needed in the food shelves. And as people are going to the grocery store, they just have a volunteer say, you know, would you like to purchase anything on this list for the food shelf? And so people, it's kind of easy for them because they know what they need. And if they want to do that, I mean, it's not high pressure or anything, but it's just, I think that's kind of an innovative way to, you know, get help, get volunteers. The volunteers don't have to do anything except pick up a few items of groceries. So, but that's just one example. So anyway.
Well, to keep things fair, Madam Chair, I'm going to make a motion that we charge Americorps the same as we charge the partnership.
All right, so
We have a motion.
We
and a
already
second
had a
on-
motion
and a
on the-
second on the floor.
So let's
and-
vote, let's
Miss-
vote on the
sorry.
Economic Development Partnership lease first. So if there's no more discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carries 4-1. All right,
And I'll make a motion to charge Americorps the same as we're charging the partnership.
So, Madam Chair, I think we'd first of all have to, we have to procedurally rescind the one that we
we do,
previously
we have
approved
to.
to the consent agenda.
We'd have to
And
pull
then-
the item off the consent agenda.
Well, we'd have to
at this point.
rescind the decision that was made on the approval of the consent agenda to vote to.
Well, I don't know, we're just modifying the amount. Greg?
Yeah, Greg?
Robert Rules of Orders. it's
Right.
more-
Technically, I would believe, Greg, chime in if you wish, but one on the prevailing side would have to make a motion to reconsider or rescind. As it was all 5 voted, I would say any of you on the board could vote to rescind and follow through that way.
All right. I withdraw my other motion, and I make a motion to rescind the contract with Americorps that we agreed on the consent agenda.
All right, motion made to rescind that contract by Commissioner Delight. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Vetch. Discussion,
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Ketchmark?
just one additional, I spoke to Finance Department yesterday, and they had confirmed, because they had checked into what current office rental space is in the area, and it is $19.60, and that'll be my position for it. The cost of rental space here.
All right. Any more discussion? Hearing to rescind that item. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
All right.
I'll make a motion to charge Americorps the same what we're charging the
Motion
Wright
made,
County partnership.
I'll second.
motion made by Commissioner Delight, seconded by Commissioner Wetter. Any more discussion?
For, Madam Chair, it makes sense to keep things linear if it's.
I
if it's gonna-
agree.
I don't want anybody to feel like we're favoring one organization more over another, so.
I think it's only fair.
Yep.
Yeah, make it fair.
Having reduced,
There,
and to Mike's point, having a reduced rate than what is the going rate in the community is different because these have value to county citizens and actually save county tax dollars by their involvement in the community.
Right.
So.
Yep. True. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't I count at least one vote again?
No, I know. All right. So reschedule April 13th.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I was made aware of a few conflicts with the upcoming Personnel Committee date, which was scheduled for the 13th. In speaking with the parties, Finance, IT, Human Services, as well as HR, it appears that the 14th at 9 a.m. would work, if that is palatable to the two commissioners on the
Commissioners on.
Personnel Committee.
Does that work for
It should, me just
Mark and Derek?
pulling up my calendar, making sure, I think I am good.
Or if you wanted to go later, there's a safe schools that morning. If,
Nope, 9 a.m. is good for me on the 14th.
Yep, it's good for me.
okay.
Okay. Motion to change that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to set modify the Personnel Committee from April 13th to April 14th at 9 a.m.
All right.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Commissioner Batch, second by Commissioner Lyden. All in favor?
Aye.
No opposed? All right. All right, thank you. So we still have 40 minutes. We're way ahead of schedule today, even with all our discussion. So Advisory Committee, Advisory Board updates. Commissioner Ketchmark, would you like to start?
Sure, thank you. Oh, the one thing was the joint ditch committee meeting on Friday with several counties and Commissioner Deline. We met in Glencoe and had a lengthy meeting, very informative. There's a lot of passion and experience over there with the ditches, but our drainage coordinator, Matt, was there and he kept right up with them, kept us informed, and we're going to be getting a final draft of that agreement, and Rinky Noonan was kind of the moderator there to hold it all together and get the legal language that everybody was connected with. That's really all I had, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Lyden?
Yeah, in reference to what Commissioner Ketchmark was saying, that there's a joint ditch agreement that was first done in
17, maybe?
No, it was 2012, I thought, or 2013. So it's getting updated so that there's a policy going forward for all the counties, so that's identical throughout the ditches that are joint ditches. And it was decided at that meeting that each board should review it and then accept those recommendations in that joint agreement.
Okay. Yeah, ditch law is complex, isn't it?
No.
All right, Commissioner Vetch?
So we had Central Mississippi Regional Planning Partnership last week. Had some real frank discussions about what we're going after, if it's too much, and looking at kind of really diluting down. Yes, the Framework 2030 project or study pointed out a lot of things that we could do together, but now having gone about a year and working a lot of these things, we're starting to find out that there isn't a lot of interest maybe from some of the members as well as some of the public on some of those, and looking at diluting down some of those initiatives and going after just 2 or 3 things that we can really find beneficial. So a lot more discussions and kind of shaking the box again on this group. Definitely a lot of interest in trying to ramp up some initiatives, so especially from a transportation and economic development perspectives.
Yeah, and we postponed the meeting up in Becker, the open house.
Yep. And then there's what else? We had broadband yesterday, which we'll report the minutes from that coming up next week. And then still having continued discussions on Ditch 33, a couple of meetings on that. And more will come back here in future meetings on where we're going with that. That's what I have.
Commissioner Letter?
Okay, on the 23rd, I had the South Fork Crow River One Watershed One Plan Policy Committee meeting. We met virtually because we had some people from the Houston Engineering, which kind of introduced themselves and told us a little bit about how to proceed. We kind of went over the timeline, and that timeline, of course, would cover 2 years before we'd actually have a plan. And we gave our wishes that we'd like it streamlined and concise. We didn't need no huge $1 million book as a result. Then I have the Mississippi St. Cloud One Watershed One plan this afternoon. And also, I've been meeting with other Wright County Community Action members, and we're going over the board bylaws and redoing them. And then also want to express congratulations. We now have a horticulture extension person hired. Emily Hansen. She actually lives here in Buffalo. Right now she's in college, so she will be done in June, and that's when we expect her to actually be present. This is the shared one between Meeker and McLeod.
Okay.
And also, I want to give a little personal privilege statement. I'd like to say congratulations to the Annandale basketball team that won their 2A championship. Hooray! I like to see something like that.
They were fun games to watch.
Yeah, that was really, really fun to watch. I would agree with that. And that's all I have to say.
All right, Mr. Kelly.
Ah, you stole my Annandale. I was going to mention that too. I'm not a huge basketball fan, so that's the first one I think I've watched start to finish in many years. It was a great game.
They were great.
Great to see a local team win that one.
Yes.
So, for members of the public as well, as you know, we are in the process of moving our facilities. The move has generally gone pretty smooth and a little bit ahead of schedule. They were able to move the assessor's office yesterday, as well as the bulk of the recorder. We will be moving the license center, closing that at 3 p.m. today, this afternoon. Planning to reopen at the new location on Friday. So just be aware of that, trying to keep the information going via the website, and if you have questions, please call ahead to the departments on that. As a note also, we will be continuing to have board meetings in this location, at least through the April 19th meeting. So be aware of that. Lastly, as mentioned by Commissioner Vetch, was able to attend the CMRP meeting. Also that day was able to attend the turn graduation. Very happy for Brian Johnstead and Cody Bechtold. That was a very nice event. A great keynote speech by County Attorney Lutz.
Yes.
It's just amazing to see the impact the program has had on those individuals' lives, and certainly wish them well. It's nice to be a part of that ceremony. So.
Definitely. Yeah, I really love going to the turn graduations and hearing the success stories of having, you know, the intense supervision for a couple of years perhaps, and for them to get on the right track so they're not falling back in the old lifestyle, and, you know, getting jobs and going to school and taking care of their families. So that's a very, I really appreciate drug court. So I had a few things last week. We had our regional crime lab, and thank you, Sheriff Derringer, for hosting it here in Wright County. So we had a good turnout as Anoka, Sherburne, and Wright County. Some of the things going on, we do have a administrative assistant, which they're so happy about because they've been wanting one for about 3 years at least, and have got the approval to go ahead with that. But we do have vacancies in the lab, and they're busy, and they continue to have very good turnaround times with particularly with their you know, more serious cases and that kind of thing. And certainly if there's something that we need processed more quickly because of court trials and that sort of thing, you know, they're willing to work with us on that. We do have had a grant for a liquid handling robot, so that, you know, people, you know, the individuals don't have to handle those themselves. So I saw one operating a couple of years ago, and it's pretty cool the way they, you know, move through and grab whatever liquid it is, DNA mostly, and process it. So, and September 28th is Natural Forensic Science Week, and that's something that they have every week. They're also
every year.
I'm sorry, yeah, not every week, every year. And they also got a grant to update their drug libraries. So, you know, imagine all the new drugs that are constantly coming from the illegal drug trade world too, and so they're getting that done.
Madam Chair, regarding that, we used to get a report, I used to get a report monthly or something like that.
I-
And I haven't gotten it in a while.
Yeah, I will forward those. I need to remember to forward those to you, so,
Okay, because she used to send them directly
okay.
to us.
Okay, I will make a note to forward those when we get them.
Because I just like looking
Monthly.
at
It
those
is.
reports and
Right,
what
seen.
what we've accomplished and some
Exactly.
of the
Right.
success stories.
Yes, yeah, because there's a lot of success stories for sure, so, yeah, thank you. And I went to the Howard Lake Waverly Winstead Symposium they had on Tuesday night. I was at the media table, and also County Attorney Lease was there, and he helped set up for the safe committees of Wright County and had kind of manning that table too, but they had different seminars, and they have like 45 minutes per when they have like 4 seminars every 45 minutes, they're repeated. So they did like on vaping, sex trafficking, mental health, and they didn't have the same numbers that they had pre-COVID, but they still had a good turnout. I think like 70 parents or something, and they stayed for all the presentations. I think it's a good one. Annandale's having a symposium on the 7th of April, so it's good to get the community involved and knowing what's going on with kids. Hhs Advisory, we didn't have a business meeting. We actually toured the second floor of the new government center, so our committee could see the public health and social services and where everything's laid out. So that was good. And then we had the turn and steering committee for EDA. So it was and then moving boxes and unpacking. That was fun. So we'll get settled in.
Does that mean you have your new office all
I-
organized already?
Yep. Last week.
You want the keys to mine so you can do mine too?
I don't know. I had way too much fun doing I want you to have your own fun.
Oh. Gee, thanks.
All right. So if there's nothing else, I guess we'll recess until 10. So it is now 9:32. We're recessed until 10 o'clock. Good morning. We will come out of our recess, and we have some people to honor here for years of service. So we, just thank you everyone that has stayed with us, and we've had a lot going on the last few years, so it makes it, it's good to do it. It's good to do it together for sure. So, all right. Well, we will start with our years of service recognition, and we will. Should I start with 25 or should I start with 5? I think, yeah.
5.
Usually you start with 5.
Usually we start at 5 and go upwards.
Go right to left. All right. So, Commissioner Wetter, if you would.
Yep, I'll start with the 5 years.
All right.
First off, our beloved Commissioner Derek Vetch.
Who else is on there?
I heard that he was planning on using that Target gift card to bring us all donuts next week.
Hey.
Yeah. He's gonna feed the kids, no. Then there's Gregory Picard from Veteran Services.
He's not here. He was here yesterday.
Where is he?
Yeah, today. He didn't want to be
Wanna come
recognized.
today. Angela Yeager from Health and Human Services. Alexander Willems from the Sheriff Office. Melissa Matke, Assessor's Office. Seth Hansen from the Sheriff's Office. Aaron Baker from Health and Human Services. Bridget McGriff from Planning and Zoning. Elena Barrett from Health and Human Services. Jeffrey Davis from the Sheriff Office. And Kiefer Prudhomme from the Sheriff's Office.
Right.
You know, it's going to be really nice when we're all in the same complex.
Yes.
Yes.
Make it a lot easier for us.
It'll be much easier for people to just walk down to the
Yep.
boardroom. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you for your 5 years.
Yes. 10 years, Mark. You have quite the list.
Jason Brown from Information Technology.
All right. No Jason. Thanks, Jason. All right, Derek, 15 years.
Mark had a long list there.
He did.
Yeah, that's what I read the ones I wanted to.
That's the one he wanted.
The most important group, the IT. Can't do anything without them.
So for 15 years, we are congratulating Tessa Matusik, Laurel Smith from Health and Human Services, Robert Gongel from the Sheriff's Department, Crystal Kramer from the Sheriff's Department, Kevin Triplett from the Sheriff's Office, Chase Philippi from the Assessors, Adam Lund from the Sheriff's Office, and Kimberly Cohn from Health and Human Services, and Adam Lund from the Sheriff's Office. I think I missed that one. And Nathan Larson from the Sheriff's Office.
Sheriff, you're going to have a lot of stuff to carry back with you.
I thought that was John Holler's job.
Yeah.
That's why everybody didn't show up, because they figured you were going to take care of it.
All right, moving on to 20 years. Commissioner Ketchmark.
Thank you. 20 years. And probably help out administration if there is officer, department heads, or other staff here that would want to take the paraphernalia back with them. I'm sure they'd appreciate it, especially with the move and everything to the other building. So 20 years, Tina Zarki, Health and Human Services. Christina Claphake, Health and Human Services.
There we are.
Yay!
We got one covered. Don Weed, Sheriff's Office. Next 25
Thank you,
years.
Christina.
Almost 20 years. Wonderful.
20 years, a long
25
time.
years, quarter century mark.
Yeah.
Jason Cramber, Sheriff's Office. Christopher Yankee, Court Services. Nathan Miller, Court Services.
All right.
Congratulations.
All right.
That concludes the list.
Well, we really appreciate, our employees and, Nice to have a recognition every 5 years. So does anybody else have anything to add? Wait, Christina, you could probably give a little speech.
You know, actually, since she was the only one that was here, I think it's only fitting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the Oscars, so
Yeah.
I don't have anything.
Oh, my.
Well, thank you for coming over. All right, if no one has anything else, enjoy the new buildings, and we've had a, it's amazing how actually smoothly it's gone. I mean, I would think about this at night, like, how is this gonna happen? And it really went well. Yeah, Sheriff.
Any word on the technology when the board meetings will be moving?
Yeah,
So I could speak to that
Yeah.
one, Madam Chair. At
There's
this point, we're a couple weeks out from what I'm getting from the installers for AV, so we're planning to be in this location through the 19th meeting.
so yeah, they keep working, and well, every day that I was there last week and yesterday, they keep pulling wires, and so, but,
Well, we
think
should know
there's-
more tomorrow whether or not the pipe's gonna show up.
yeah.
Yep.
The brain's gonna show
The
up.
brain. So it might be a couple more weeks here, but hopefully not more than that. I was hoping next week would be the last week, but we'll see what happens.
Well, we won't be there until the 26th, be the very first board
You think
meeting we
so?
could. Well,
With the brain?
because we already have scheduled public hearings in this room.
Correct.
So we'd have to repost if we did anything otherwise, so all board meetings until then will be,
Yeah, and that would be, I think that would be easy to repost, wouldn't it, if we have a public hearing, but,
we have to do 3 weeks
We do
though,
have
then we'd have
to-
to push it out. There's a
Correct.
deadline on that, having that done
yeah,
by.
that's true.
It's easier to maintain the location.
Since Chase finally showed
Yes,
up,
Chase,
should we, I mean, he should
15
come up
years.
here and get his
Chase
award.
Philippi,
Yeah.
everybody.
Christina didn't want to give a speech either, but.
Yeah, but this is
Thank you, Chase,
different.
for everything.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Chase.
All right.
Because he's late, though, I think it should be.
Oh, shoot.
Don't you read the emails?
It's hard to keep track of everything for sure, so, anyway.
Don't let them off so easy.
Okay,
All right.
that's your job, not to. So, all right.
Okay.
If we're good, we will adjourn our meeting at 10:08. Thanks for coming.